Simple interest. Today we'll be calculating simple interest using the formula I equals PRT, where I stands for the interest, P stands for the principal, R stands for the interest rate, and T stands for time, expressed in years. Our first examples are where we are earning interest. Ashley deposited $550 into a savings account earning 4% interest. How much interest will she earn in 5 years? And what will her balance be at the end of 5 years? So to calculate the annual interest, what she makes in 1 year, we take the principal amount of $550 times the interest rate of 0.04, and that is $22. So she makes $22 a year. So how much will she make in 5 years? Well, we're going to multiply that by 5. She'll make $110 in 5 years. So what will her balance be at the end of 5 years? Well, she'll make $110 on interest plus her principal amount of $550 that she started with. So at the end of 5 years, her balance will be $660. Jada deposits $1,000 in a savings account earning 6.5% interest. How much interest will she earn in 7 years? And what will her balance be at the end of 7 years? So to calculate the annual rate of $1,000 as the principal times a rate of 0.065, she earns $65 a year in interest. So how much interest will she earn in 7 years? We'll take that number times 7, and that's $455. So what will her balance be at the end of 7 years? Well, it's the $455 she earned in interest plus the $1,000 of principal that she began with. So she will have, her balance at the end of 7 years will be $1,455. Joe deposits $750 in a savings account earning 7.5% interest. How much interest will he earn in 6 months? And what will his balance be at the end of 10 years? So let's calculate his annual rate. He started with a principal of $750 times an interest rate of 0.075. So $56.25 is his annual rate, how much interest he earns each year. So how much interest will he earn in 6 months? Well, since 6 months is half a year, we'll take the $56.25 and divide it by 2. So in 6 months he'll earn $28.13. So what will his balance be at the end of 10 years? Well, each year he earns $56.25. And if he earns interest for 10 years, then times 10. And he started with $750. He'll have $1,312.50. So those are examples of earning interest. The calculation is the same when we pay interest. Sometimes you have to pay interest. When you take out a loan or pay with a credit card, you pay the bank interest for letting you borrow their money. So the calculation will be the same, it's just that you're paying the money out and not earning it. Noah takes a loan out a loan of $1,500 to buy a new computer. The bank is charging him 6% interest. He plans to pay back in the loan in 3 months. How much interest will he pay? And what is the total amount he needs to pay the bank? So $1,500 times an annual rate of 0.06. So $90 is what he would pay a year in interest. So how much does he plan to pay back in 3 months? Well, there are 12 months in a year, so 3 months out of 12 months, he needs to pay a fourth of the 90%. So divide that by 4, he'll pay $22.50. So that's how much interest he'll pay. What is the total amount he needs to pay the bank? Well, he needs to pay the bank the $1,500 he borrowed plus $22.50 in interest because they lent him the money. So he needs to pay the bank $1,522.50. Ben borrows $1,200 from the bank as a down payment on a new car. The bank is charging him 5.5% interest. He plans to pay back the loan in 5 years. How much interest will he pay? And what is the total amount he needs to pay the bank? So he's starting with a principal amount he's borrowing is $1,200 times the 0.055. So he pays $66 in interest each year. He's going to pay paying interest for 5 years, so we're going to take this annual amount times 5. So he will pay $330 in interest. And what is the total amount he needs to pay back? Well, he needs to pay the bank $330 plus the $1,200 he borrowed. So he needs to pay $1,530. In our last example, Rachel borrows $950 from her mom to purchase a new pony. Her mom is charging her 3.5% interest. She plans to pay her mom back in 7 years. How much interest will she pay? And what is the total amount she needs to pay her mom? So again, we're going to start with the amount she's borrowing of $950 times an annual interest rate of 0.035. So each year she will pay $33.25 in interest. And she'll be paying interest for 7 years. So we're going to multiply that times 7. So she'll pay $232.75 in interest. So the total amount she'll owe her mom is the interest of $232.75 plus the $950 she borrowed from her mother. So $1,182.75 is the total amount she needs to pay her mother.